All right, I think we're live. Get some water in. Get my radio voice going. Sure, it sounds good. Hold on. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I'm not going to sing do here, female deer. All right, get a few people in here. If you guys, as you roll in, please remember to click the like and get a few people in, get them questions going. It was pretty lively yesterday. We were a little bit off the chain in here yesterday. But hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, representing Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness. Ready to answer your fitness questions. I'm going to have a zero tolerance policy for bullshit in here. Let's get to these questions, though. Will electrolytes help me lifting? Well, that's what plants crave. No, they might. No, I mean, electrolytes can have their place. The topic of sodium intake, I think it's very complicated in here. I think it's been overhyped as being massively useful. You have to watch your blood pressure and stuff, but it's going to depend on what the composition of your diet looks like, right? But potassium usually tends to help. Sodium, I think, is really relative to what's going on with heat. I probably need to be adding more sodium to my diet right now. For example, due to sweating in the heat. Jason, how do you deal with the loss of a relative? I don't think that's the same for everyone. My mourning process when I have lost loved ones has been different every single time. I recently lost a very close loved one, very, very recently this year. And it hit me pretty hard. But you deal with these things the best that you can. You talk with other family. I think that's the biggest thing you can do, is that talking and being there for other family, being there for each other. I think that's the most important thing. How am I doing it? I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. I just got back from grocery shopping and stuff too. Got my training done. I almost feel like going and taking a nap, but I really want to get this live going first. I only get fatigue when lifting big muscle groups like my back and chest, but not small muscle groups. Why? Well, because you're working harder. Big muscle groups require more energy and work. I mean, you are literally doing more work. So, of course, you're more fatigued, right? Makes sense if you think about it that way. Many people claim that machines are better for hypertrophy than tree weights. Is BS or truth? Why would there be truth to it? Right? Do you tend to buy the same groceries every trip? No, not always. Not always. Are rings good for reverse flies? What? I think rings are good for anything other than being a gymnast. Do you want to be a gymnast and be in the Olympics? Then you should probably do ring work. Are you going to compete with rings in the CrossFit Games? And you should do ring work. Outside of people who need to compete with rings, I think they're about fucking useless. Okay, but training specificity. I don't know what all stores have the best deals. R. Kelly. I don't think it works as a Texas thing. That's like saying, what are the best grocery store deals in Russia? Texas is kind of big. I mean, Houston itself is bigger than I think some people's states where they live. So it's kind of like on one end of Houston, the deals may not be the same as the other end of Houston. Like you can drive for an hour straight in a straight line and still be in Houston. Yeah, but I think I could do twice the reps if I didn't get so tired. Well, I don't know. How would you recommend someone advance to weighted pull-ups, the most body weight pull-ups I can get? You just have to get stronger at body weight. That's it. You have to gain muscle. Were you answering me or R. Kelly on the last one? I was answering R. Kelly. right? About the grocery stores. Hey, Jason, sorry if you answered this already, but has your thoughts on reverse pyramid training changed? No, not really. I don't see why you would think that it has. Well, Jason, some grocery stores unique to Texas. That's why I ask. Well, I don't know, man. I'm probably not the best person. You should go Google for deals. That would be probably the best thing. Have you heard of the Rendell cycles? Basically, I did. You should either base your diet with high carb or high fat rather than moderate amounts of both. I tend to lean in that direction. Is there a difference between cheap chalk and expensive chalk? I don't know. Honestly, I've never really investigated that. What cardio do you do? In this current temperature, trying to eat the calories that I need, I can't really afford to do cardio, dude. I'm struggling to get enough food in as it is. Normally, I'm big on cardio. It would be a problem for me right now. What's your opinion on soy products? Soy milk, tofu, etc. I don't eat that shit. Dang, I don't eat any of that shit, dude. I know I walk, but that's not really cardio. Do you like the Blue Zones diet? I don't remember specifically what is in the Blue Zones diet, my friend. You're going to have to break that all down. In other words, I recall the concept. I don't remember the specifics. Do you eat eggs daily? No, I haven't eaten eggs in a long time. Are we going to get into this debate about if eggs are dairy or not? Because I'll die on that hill. Eggs are the dairy of the chicken. All right. Best car AC recharge kit. What the fuck? Is that a thing? R. Kelly fan, man. Don't you have like some girls to pee on or something like R. Kelly? Instead of asking me about AC recharge kits. I've never recharged the air conditioner in a car in my life. Well, maybe you should go to a mechanic. Do you think gravity boots for upside down ab training is good? I suppose it's all right, right? Plus, you could probably use that for some weird sex stuff with your girl. I'm just saying, dual purpose. Maybe you should. That sounds like a pretty good idea now that I think about it. How is Larry Wheels still doing 495 times 10 on bench? Is he still doing that? Is he still doing that? I don't know. I don't really follow what he's doing that closely. But that's pretty ridiculous if he is, though. Pretty ridiculous. Is it true that HIIT will kill? That's high intensity interval training. Yeah, HIIT can be a problem with recovery from training. It can impact your lower body lifting if you're not very careful. Do you base increase in weight on ME day on bar speed? Yes. What is the highest body fat percent we could go to? Sorry, I burped. Whilst bulking and still be healthy? I don't know, man. I think that's going to vary from person to person, right? It might be 20%. It might be 25%. Keeping in mind someone who is extremely athletic with a lot of muscle and very active, they have a more wiggle room on body fat than the sedentary person. But it's probably going to be somewhere in that range. Is it better to do steady state cardio like jogging? Probably for most of your cardio, yeah. Is wide grip bench useless for long AF arms? No, it's not useless. Not useless at all. It's just that it can be difficult. Do you train any strongman competitors? Yes, I do. I only have one right now. I only have one. Do any of your clients bench 3 times per week? No. No, they do not. I only put that for ranked novice programs. I don't ever have people bench more than twice a week outside of that because I don't want them all busted up. Yeah. Well, they think any influencer is drug free is hilarious. Like, why would your influencers have any reason to be drug free? They have every reason to use gear and lie about it to make money. Okay? They have every reason to do that. From a business model, if they want to make money, that is actually a really good idea. I'm not saying it's ethical. I'm not saying I support it. But as a business model, it's a proven business model. Problem is that so much of it has occurred is that it has changed standards of what people think is obtainable, unfortunately. High frequency bench training has become very popular it's very popular in people who are washed up and beat up before they reach age 40. That is who it is very popular with. Jason, you look beautiful today. Do you use coconut oil for your body? Well, thank you, Darko. I feel beautiful today, right? I guess I should start using that word aesthetic now. I'm a beautiful, delicate flower. Fantastic bald cranium aesthetics. A 10 out of 10 scalp. Look at that. Look at that shine. See, that's the coconut oil right there. Glistening. Women love that shit. Did the trolls stop? No, the trolls are never going to stop. Look, Greg, you will never silence haters. It is impossible. Haters will always move the goalpost. They will always move the goalpost on you. That's why you don't stand around worrying about trying to prove haters wrong. It's a waste of time. Like, you could tell haters, well, screw you guys, I'm going to make $1 million. And you go make $1 million. Your haters will say, you didn't make 5 million. No, you're a fucking loser. Right? Tell your haters, I'm going to bench 405, right? You go bench 405, then your haters say, but you didn't bench 600. You're a fucking pussy loser. While they wipe the Cheeto dust off on their chest. Probably never worked out in their life. Living in their mom's basement. You can't silence haters. It is impossible. It is impossible to do. You cannot do it. How do you pump out so much content? Seems like you've mastered your time management. I have mastered time management many years ago. Time management is critical. Do you think rice and tuna is an anabolic meal? Yes, but tuna is nasty as fuck. Like, I would vomit if I put tuna in my mouth, probably. Benny, that's a nuanced topic. I don't know that we can cover the depth of how that could possibly work. Primarily lower, but hypothetically, maybe everything. Chelsea, I think you're just a troll yourself at this point. Why do people, like, I've never figured out why people want to troll me. I've never actually understood it, and it's not necessary. I mean, realistically, it's like you want to understand the psychology of insane losers. Think about that for a moment. If you could understand their mindset, you would be an insane loser. I mean, there would be something wrong with you if you can understand the motives of the people who do that all day, right? Or you are working on your PhD in behavioral psychology, some sort of abnormal psych. Jason, I'm not going to make a video about, I'm not going to call Steve Shaw out on that. There's no point. What happened to Bagpuss? Is he still alive? Bagpuss is living his best life right now, right? He's up there making kittens, getting in those sugar walls, stacking paper. Dude, Swagpuss. I mean, he's Swagpuss, dude. Come on. You already know this. Do you think you'd earn less money? Oh. Hey, coach, I'm doing ice cream fitness 2.0. I wonder, do faceballs hit the lateral delt to a substantial degree? Feels like they do, but maybe I'm confusing the feeling of the rear. No, they do. There's research showing they do. What's the next current events video about? I don't know, man. I need to find something. I have not found anything to cover yet. Do you have a stage name? No, man. I've used my real name here everywhere, dude. Alpha Destiny says that 45-degree pulls rear delt exercise also carry the mid delts. Yeah, I don't think it has to be only 45-degree pulls. But I would agree with him. Biomechanically, he is correct. Do you ever prescribe reverse bench grip for your clients' max effort? No, I actually don't. Any reason to front squat if you don't Olympic lift? Would use build weak links such as glutes and adductors, better alternative? I would rather, for most people, use a safety bar. I mean, I will occasionally have someone do it for max effort. Occasionally someone do it for assistance if they need it, but it's not something most of my lifters are going to do. Jason, do you think the cambered football bar is worth buying? Maybe. Depends on what you're going to use it for. What's the main difference between a quick dynamic effort work versus raw dynamic effort work? It's a lot to do with percentages. Again, a little bit nuanced. I don't coach equipped lifters, by the way. I'm not going to answer trans questions at all. Thoughts on the SBD belt? I've not used it. Both of my main belts are Inzer, but from what I know, the SBD belt is a pretty good choice, right? It's a top tier belt. Thoughts on Jimmy Cole's 1400 bench press? Now, before people chime in and we talk about equipped of, how it's a different standard. Here's the thing. 1,400 pound bench press, even if the shirt lifted 1,200 of the pounds, right? Even if it did that, because obviously the shirt's lifted an enormous amount. No one's even benched 800 raw. The fact of the matter is the guy's holding 1,400 pounds in his hands. I don't see how his hands don't split open from doing that. Just the pressure involved. That's just insane. I mean, I would look at that and tell you, irrespective of the strength and all the other parts and the arguments of raw versus equipped, that guy probably has some of the strongest hands and wrists on the face of the earth that any human being has ever had. That's just insane. You should cover some of the Liver King's content. It's full of garbage advice. We'll know it. Really? Like, what does he suggest? I mean, we already know he's eating raw liver and stupid shit like that. All right. Should I aim to get sore the next day? No. Would you do a collab with Revive Fit? I don't really know much about him, and he's never contacted me. Jason, tips to calm down immediately before getting intimate with a girl to get more experience. Current event suggestion, Greg Doucette's entire channel, the guy is a clown. Is occlusion training legit? I'm not a fan. I'm not going to get into the debates of the research. I'm just simply not a fan. I used to bench 1,400 pounds raw in high school. Dude, everybody did in high school, man. Everybody who played high school football bench pressed like 2,000 pounds in high school. At least everyone I talked to says they did. Always some ludicrous amount. When in reality, they never even benched 315. Yeah, I'm very aware of the fake natty thing with Liver King. Thoughts on focusing on the squeezing and traction of an exercise, the mind-muscle connection. I think you should save that for masturbating or something and don't worry about that in the weight room. A good current events topic to cover I'm not going to cover Andrew Tate, dude. He's too controversial, and I don't want to dig far enough into him to understand anyways. He's just not interesting to me. I'm not a big fan, even though I'm pro masculinity. The whole manosphere is fucking ridiculous these days. If you're traveling for a couple of weeks and only have access to 100-pound bands and tubes and body, what's the best way to use them? Good training. Just get in and just do some pump work and count it as a deload week. I've never heard of lean beef patty. Sorry. I can't believe. Yeah, I don't know what Alex Bromley's doing with any of that. All I know is he tried to basically call me out for no reason, but I've not been calling anyone else out. Never called him out. I'm just trying to put out good content, and the guy wants to try to pick a fight for no reason. No reason. Very not professional. Especially considering that I've stayed out of drama for many, many, many years. It was just how do I put it? It was very unprofessional of him. Hi, Jason. I'm running your novice 5x5 program, and I feel pain in my lower traps and rowing and squatting. What should I do? I don't know. I need to see what's going on with your stuff. I don't know. You need to clean your form up, though. Figure out what's going on with your form. Start filming yourself. Look at it. Compare it to things like Stardy Strength, some of the stuff that I put out. See if we can figure out what's going on with it. Should we barbell row to the chest or rib cage or waist to the chest? Is occlusion training the same as blood flow restriction training? Yes, it's the same thing. Why are you scared? I'm not scared to be controversial. I just don't want to deal with it. Gerald, it's not fear. It's just not wanting to deal with it. Like I've dealt with too much bullshit. It's just enough is enough. I'm kind of at a point where, yes, if I can help you, if I need to call out some really serious nonsense, I'm going to call it out. But I want to just put out good information and get people strong, and just starting needless fights and being controversial just for the sake of being controversial. It really is just simply not worth it to me. Right? Does dumbbell rows work biceps as barbell rows does? I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. It works the biceps, just maybe not as good as a curl. Do you like suspension trainer inverted rows? I think most inverted rows are fine. Yeah, Omar and Bertrubin attack you as well for no reason other than clout and to be in league with the haters. I mean, that's the thing, Doug. That's kind of why I don't get involved in any of this controversy. I don't want to be involved in controversy anymore because it really, that's what it turns into. It turns into just attacking people for clout, and do we need to do that? Is any of that necessary? Is it really necessary? Why can't we just build our reputations off good information, good knowledge, helping people? Because at the end of the day, I mean, I did a lot of that controversy years ago, and it wasn't worth it to me. It just wasn't worth it, man. I just want to help people. Do you not like dips anymore? No, I don't like them anymore. I've just seen too many injuries. Is what I need you for. Is this a fake Darko? Darko? I bet you it is. Or Dark, it's the real Darko, but he's getting weirder on me. You going from being a good poster to just weird shit. Would a regular Pendlay row build more or less muscle than a cheap Pendlay row? I don't know. 6 one day, half a dozen the other. How do we lower the bar in a bent over row? Well, you don't really have a lot of choices in how to do it in a bent over row. I mean, the only way it can go is down. Coach, what are a few things you would change about Mike Minder's training? I wouldn't worry about his philosophies at all. Like, why do you need to take someone's philosophy and fix it? Just move on. No, I'm Czech. I'm not Polish. Is there one classic lift that best suits lift mastery training? No, I don't think so. All right, let's see what Darko's dream was. Darko, that's kind of a weird dream, dude, and I don't need to know that. Right? I don't need to know that you had a dream about having sex with me. Jason, you misread it. How do we lower the bar in a bent over row, below or above the knees? Well, how can you lower it to above the knee? I don't even see how you would do that. Of course, it's going to be below the knee. Are you doing half reps? Coach, do you like ab wheel rollouts? No, they aggravate my shoulders. I think that they're a good exercise. Yeah. All right. See, Greg, there's where you're wrong. You just saw one right there without me even talking about it. When should the bounce press be utilized? Never. Top 3 things I've probably been wrong about. No, I didn't say older videos. I said mid-range videos. I said certain years, not my original stuff. Yeah. Yep. Number 1, that you can get away that a person could gain muscle off of possibly one set. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think most people won't even preserve their muscle off of a single set per week. I would say that's number 1. That's probably the biggest thing I've ever gotten wrong in a video, right? I can't think of any other specifics with that one's. Demonic, I don't think you actually watch my channel, because you brought up stuff where you said in this video and that. So you know all those things, but you don't know anything about my training. So I'm just going to get rid of you. You ask goofball, weird ass bodybuilding questions all the time anyways. Is a big arch the same thing as a bounce press? No, it's not the same thing. Have you ever had a client that made no progress? Of course. Of course. Now, was it because they weren't doing what they needed to do? Yes. There's no point in carrying on with that client unless they just want to send me money, but I don't want to have to keep sending them programming they're not going to follow. So it's kind of at that point, I would tell the client like that. If they want to just donate $300 a month to me, they can, but they're not following my programming. I'm not actually coaching them. All right. Vince Caranda suggests 1 set to failure beginners, 2 sets for intermediate, 3 sets for advanced lifters. Vince Caranda's dead, though. Just saying. Okay. I don't think we need to go into debates about Schwarzenegger versus Yates's training. I could really care less. Was it you that asked? No, they contacted me, if I recall. In your opinion, how long does it take to go from a 180 pounds bench to a 220? I don't think that that's a set number, right? I don't think that that's a set number. Like if you're looking for that, I don't even know that I could tell you what the average time frame is for that. What was the beef between you and Jeff Side? Oh, Jeff threatened to hit me at an expo. He said he was going to walk up and punch me in the face. That didn't actually work out too well. I don't know why he didn't want to hang around when I got there. Coach, do you think having a BMI of 25 plus is actually optimal for health? This doesn't seem to be the case according to studies. You know what? Yeah, but I like having muscle. So there's that. Do you think mobility work is effective now that you can hit squat depth? I don't think mobility work effective at all, to be honest, for the most part. Or do we mean training through a full range of motion so that weights actually build mobility? Well, that can do it. Let's see. All right, let's investigate these different dark codes. Yeah, that's definitely a fake. All right, let's get that all sorted. Get back over to real questions. All right, Chelsea, good catch there. Thank you. I can't think of another YouTuber vlogs all their training like you do. Very transparent and respectable. I don't know of any who do that either. I wish more would, man. I wish more would. Jason, are you currently drug free? Ed, that's kind of a funny question. I want you to just walk over and look at the thumbnails of the training vlogs. You know my height and weight. You already know the answer to that question. Did Elliot Hulse give you a shout out years ago? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. If you cut, will one cheat day a week where you eat a lot stop the cut from working? That is really going to depend upon the specifics of what is going on in your whole week and what your energy turnover is. That there is not a yes or no answer to that, Benny. That is very dependent upon way too many factors for us to cover, including what you end up with is your average weekly energy in and energy out. Jason, how much do you sleep your lifter need per night in your opinion? I think at least 8 hours. What'd you eat on your recent cheap pizza? I'm probably not doing another cheat day for a while. I didn't even feel good afterwards. R. Kelly, you don't think 225 at 5'9" is achievable drug free? Not at a sub 20% body fat. Nope. Not a snowball's chance in hell. Seems like throughout your history in YouTube, you've always valued honesty and telling you the truth as opposed to making money. If you were a show, you'd probably be a multimillionaire. Had I sold out on BCAAs back in the day, that is true. Instead, I got sued over them. And ironically, people want to brand me as a liar. I'm the only one who got sued for being honest about the biggest scam in early YouTube history, while everyone else made money and lied. Does eating junk food improve your workouts, even though it's, I guess that depends on the person and the context of, so you see the problem with your question, Future? That is a very context dependent question. Do you play the lottery? No. Gerald, if you want to avoid the bad advice, mostly skip 2015 up to about 2018, right? Just kind of leave those years alone and go with before or after that, and you'll probably be better off. What do you estimate your body fat at? I'm going to say 16%. Okay, Atomic sent $5. Can you say your classic +5 hat intro? Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I'm going to put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about it. Why is Lane Norton okay? That's a good question, isn't it? Maybe you should ask Lane that one. Thoughts on overhand grips, Yates rows is good for me. I don't like Yates rows that much. Did you ever consider coming out with your own sublight? I did, but I couldn't come up with anything that I felt wasn't a ripoff. Right? When you eat junk food personally, does it improve your workouts? Sometimes it has. Like I've had times where the next day after like a holiday feast, I've gone and hit just crazy deadlifts. But I don't always find that at certain points that a cheat day or eating pizza or something helps, right? My lifts didn't go up the next week at all. Like I had a cheat meal, came in, were my lifts better? No, I wasn't any stronger. Do you still have the +5 hat? I don't remember. That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure if it got tossed or not with the mold situation. I had to throw out a bunch of stuff because of that. Coach, I find that controlling the eccentric and pausing on the stretch portion makes me a lot more sore. Is it less optimal? I don't know what we're talking about. Is BCAAs better than diet soda? No, diet soda is better than BCAAs. Can you tear your biceps on a barbell row? Underhand grip, absolutely. Many people have torn theirs on a supine grip. Dorian Yates tore his biceps doing Yates rows. Funny when prank channels get arrested for starting trouble, but they got themselves into that situation in the first place. There you go. Man, I'm not going to jump in. And talk about Lane's third divorce. I'm just not, dude. There's a point where it's like, it's just not my business. Not my business. Let Lane do what he wants to do with his life. What are the signs you need to stop the bulk when you were personally uncomfortable with the body fat? Gerald, I'm not going to revamp the mold situation. It's been a year now. I don't want to go through it again. Come on. What was your most recent? I don't know. I don't think I've had any real recent injuries. Any benefits using a slow tempo, something like 3-1? Probably not. I can't think of why. Benefits of pinning shoulders versus glutes. It lets the glutes take a break from being pinned. You will get slightly less into your bloodstream, right? And that's not my opinion. That is what the research shows, but it's still the best upper body place to pin per the medical literature. Could a 135-pound BJJ black belt defeat a 220-pound strong lifter with no martial arts experience? Someone who has no fighting training? Yeah, if the guy is really good at BJJ, I'm going to say he probably has the advantage there. Okay, even though he shouldn't under anywhere remotely close to the same skill level, even 50% of the skill level, the stronger guy's going to destroy him, right? But an untrained 220-pound strong lifter versus a 135 black belt, I'm going to go with the martial artist here, right? What are your thoughts on dead hangs these days? I think they're useful. I know BCAAs suck, but what about EAAs? They're still less effective than protein. If you bulk up to a certain weight and stay there for a while, can you recomp at that weight? It's going to depend. It's going to depend on a lot of variables. That's not a yes or no question. Thoughts on pinning biceps and triceps? I don't recommend it, dude. I don't recommend it. It's just a good way to build up scar tissue. Does it oil congregate? No, the oil dissipates eventually. You build scar tissue, though, R. Kelly. Thoughts on Dan John as a strength coach? I think Dan John is a phenomenal coach. Right? Notice I didn't say good coach. I said I think Dan John is a phenomenal coach. How's that for an opinion? Is it beneficial to eat most in the evening compared to the rest of the day? No, I don't think there's any benefit to that. Did your hat actually add +5 to your weaponsmithing abilities? Of course it did, dude. That's how stats stack. Do speed deadlifts fill the same role as power cleans? For a lot of athletes, they can, yes. Did you watch the Clear Value Tax on YouTube? I don't know what that is. Do you still think low-fat, high-carb approaches for advocating for bulking is inferior for joint health? Oh, that's an interesting topic. When we come over to the essential fatty acids, right? That's a good question. I do think a diet higher in healthy fats can absolutely help with overall inflammation. Like that is clear. Pure body composition, though, I mean, I'm going to say the high carb, very low fat can be advantageous. But, if we want to talk recovery, joint health, inflammation, eating a lot of like polyunsaturated fats is a good idea. Thanks for being more laid back and willing to joke around lately. I think, because we get in the lives, dude. This is a little bit more of me unfiltered. People who know me think that I am ridiculous. Like the way that I act in these, that's actually how I am with my bros. So what you guys saw a lot, particularly yesterday, that's what I'm like with people I know. Right? That's how I am with people that I know. Like, dude, I'll joke right there with the dude about their girl like that. Or some of my friends don't always like that. But I'd be like, I have given one of my good friend's wife a foot massage while drunk. So I got to watch that. Bad coach. Be giving a bitch a foot massage. She's married. That ain't right. That's not right, dude. Just saying. Power clean is beneficial for either powerlifters or bodybuilders. Am I familiar? I'm very familiar with Mike Israetel. Thoughts on snatch for non-weightlifters? Probably not that useful. All right. I'm going to wind this down soon. Let me see if there's any other good questions. Good coach. I mean, dude, yeah, exactly, Atomic. Thoughts on collagen supplementation for joint health? I thought the research was promising, but it's not looking that promising now. Right? Do you take any vitamins? D3 and K2. All right. Here we are, guys. We're at about 44 minutes. I think it's time to go ahead and wind this down. We're going to wind it down. We had some fun today. It's all good. So I hope it's been informative or entertaining at least. I love all of you guys and gals. And I will talk to you next time.